Hey everybody, good afternoon. Thanks for tuning into the Stand Up Now. Are you listening podcast, episode 18. I'm over here in Florida, guys. Look at me, I'm tongue-tied already today. Goodness gracious. Let me slow down for a second. Man, I'll tell you what, my co-host Bo over there in California, we were going to bring you guys some news, topics, updates today. Sorry, man, I was just getting away from me. I don't know if I was a little excited about all the stuff we have on the show today or what. Sometimes I
Lots
gotta
of good
slow
stuff.
down. I get so excited. All these topics, everything going on in the news. I'm like, man, I'm ready to get to this, So we
It's
got
cute. Gerard
stuff
got
all the
nervous.
way. I know. No, it wasn't nervousness. It was excitement. Excitement, man. All this stuff going on. I'm excited for the future. I actually was looking at the episode 18, right? So I was lost in my thoughts, to be honest with you. So 18, it's the in Hebrew, it's called high, right? So it's life. It's a number of life. And I was just thinking about how amazing life is and where we're going to be in this year through this podcast and sharing truth to everybody. So I was just excited about that when I saw it. I was like, wow, we're on episode 18. This thing's just getting started, and I know where God's going to take it. So
That's
I think
beautiful.
it's just a beautiful journey we're going to be on. So that's what it was, guys. That was the realness in it.
I'm
So
about to put in
anyway,
an air horn for that, baby.
woo, 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 let it go. There we go. There we go. I think that was the first official air horn on the Are You Listening podcast.
Get this underway.
First one. Guys, if you like what we're doing, share it with somebody else. We had an amazing interview yesterday with Kelly Walker. Powerful story, guys. You got to tune in. If you didn't see that episode, go look for it in our videos. Powerful story, true patriot, standing up for other people and how he's just been attacked. So if you guys didn't see that, follow that, subscribe to the show, share this with somebody else. Amazing things coming. Today on the show, guys, we're going to jump into the misconception that the media is sharing. So The View, our favorite talk show of the middle of the day, Whoopi Goldberg was on there, and they had our favorite Republican, ex-Republican, Liz Cheney, and just the misleading information of what they were talking about. So we're going to dive into that. We're going to give you guys that information. I'm a big sports fan. I know I mentioned before, football. I love football. We got some stuff with Aaron Rogers, the feud with ESPN, and the Pat McAfee show. And then we're going to dive into the truth. I know, get ahead of myself. I have to slow down.
Slow down, baby.
I get
That's
excited.
What it's about.
But anyway, we have some more truth and facts coming out. I just think the media today is misleading everybody. I think if you're tuned in and you pick your realm of reality of what you're watching, you're getting fed the exact same thing. And that's spewing up hate inside of people and causing more division. So we're here to kind of show both sides of it and to give you those information and let you decide the truth. That's really what the show is all about. And we want to present to you guys today. And then, of course, we got the migrant issue, the border issue. It continues to just excel, but if you ask certain people, they say there is not a problem. There's not a problem. So we'll jump into all that, guys. Just exciting stuff. So thank you for tuning in. And when we're going to jump into it, unless Bo, you got something that you want to kick off with?
No, I want to talk about this stuff, the important stuff we got on our minds right now, and Whoopi friggin' Goldberg.
Oh my gosh, this lady, guys, you have to watch this interview. So Liz Cheney, they brought her on and she's selling her book. That's what she's on there for, right? She's selling her book. They actually don't even put her name as they put Liz Cheney and then they put author. So they don't even call her, she's an author now. That's what she is. They don't want to list anything else. But I want you guys to listen to the words, and then we'll just one clip we're going to share. We have another clip to follow this. So you guys, we're going to show you multiple sides of what's out there, and we'll let you decide what the truth is. So we'll play this clip. This was The View, and what they have to say is going on today. Listen to this short clip, guys.
I have a question because I have felt for a long time that there's no reason why you can't find somebody smart on the left and somebody smart on the right and put them together and make that the new party.
So Liz Cheney's that answer.
That's the uniparty, right?
Right.
Never me, but I tell you, we probably don't agree on a lot of stuff, but we agree on the fact that we have a great deal of respect for the country, for our country, and how we want to see it run. Do you see yourself, and would you ever consider being the conduit to that third party? Because I don't know if the Republican Party, as we knew it, will survive this. Because if he ever gets in again, we'll never have any more elections. There will be no more. He will stop it, and he's very clear about that. He wants to be dictator for life, okay? So I wonder, would you ever consider, please, would you, please?
All right.
Consider being
All right. So we're just that's I want to hint to that point, right? They go on, they have multiple conversations. They tried multiple times to get Liz Cheney to endorse Biden. She doesn't do it. You can take that off the screen. I can't look at it.
I like to
I
leave it
just
up.
can't look at it.
I just like
I
to
just-
leave it up in case somebody tunes in and doesn't know what we're talking about.
Oh, I got you. It makes sense. I just can't stand to look at it. You can put it up, I guess. I can stomach it. I got a strong stomach. So anyway, so you heard what Whoopi Goldberg said. She said that Trump wants to be dictator for life. If he gets in, there will be no more elections. There's a lot of people that tune into the show. They have over almost 2 million followers on YouTube, and they're on a daily show, big mainstream media broadcast every single day. So how many people tune into the show and they believe this? This is their source of news and information. And not only does he want to be dictator for life, America will never have an election again, right? So now she's getting that dictator for life, dictator, from something that Trump said on a Sean Hannity town hall over a month ago. And the media went crazy with this. So if you guys haven't seen that clip, we want to play you that. No, so hold on before I jump to that. This is, in addition to The View, I'm sorry, let me get ahead of myself. Inside Edition, who, same thing, same news platform, millions of followers, millions of subscribers. This is what Inside Edition has to say to those same type of viewers about what Trump said.
Donald Trump really said it. He'll be a dictator for a day if reelected.
He says, "You're not going to be a dictator, are you?" I said, no, other than day one.
Trump made the extraordinary vow at a town hall in Iowa, moderated by Fox News host Sean Hannity.
That's all they show. That's all they show of the clip. So this reminds me of like the telephone game, right? So they said, same network, dictator for a day. She's turned it into dictator for life, right? And they cut off after what he says of dictator for a day. Now, did you watch the town hall, Bo? Do you remember when this was going on?
I watched a lot of the clips on Town Hall. I didn't watch the whole Town Hall. I think I was working this night, so didn't get a chance. But I don't need to watch these things for me to decide on who I'm voting for. I kind of know that the media's been lying this whole time. But I'll be honest, I wouldn't mind if he's dictator for one day, just one. I mean, what's that gonna hurt?
There's a lot of people that are misled, and people are okay with watching one news network, and I think a lot of people, though, it's caused such a hate and fear in this country, and they're just continually bottled up in that, So I saw that, and then I said, you know what? Let me find out because they always do that. They show something and then they stop it and they run with it, and you can obviously see that's what they're doing here. So let's go to the original clip and find out what did Trump say after Inside Edition decides to shut that off and spew that to everybody.
Not going to be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one. We're closing the border and we're drilling. After that, I'm not a dictator.
That seems pretty reasonable to me.
There you go. So it wasn't just for a day. And this is a word choice, So I might not have personally moved forward with, but it was a headline. And he's a good entertainer. He knows what to say to grab the headlines, to get it out there, because he knows what the media is going to do. He already knows their game.
I would argue that he didn't even set himself up for that. Fox asked him, are you going to be dictator for a day? Fox knew what they were going to report on and how they were going to turn this. And I think Fox needed the clicks, right?
Well, no. They didn't ask him if he's going to be dictator for a day. What Sean Hannity says, are you going to go after anybody with any political retribution or attacks? And he says, prior to this, we didn't share that part, but he says to Sean Hannity, he's like they did to me.
Yeah.
So then he goes in and then he says the dictator for a day. So they didn't specifically ask for that, but it just kind of goes to show you how I think that Trump maybe purposely used that word because he knew where they were going to go with it. And they played right into his hand, because on just a couple of days ago on the new town hall with Fox, he gets to explain that even further.
Yeah, he
And
corrected
so
himself, I would say.
yeah, he corrected. Well, he clarifies. He kind of goes. We'll play the clip next. But so you got to think this was the media running with this for the last month. So it went from what he said to dictator for a day to dictator for life, and people are getting spewed this, and that's what they're calling him, a dictator. Dictator. He wants to be another Putin. That's what the left is spewing in all mainstream media. But this is what he had to say just this week at his recent town hall.
It's just a political ploy. Trump is a dictator. He wants to be a dictator. You know, it's interesting. I did a show, Sean Hannity. Did you ever hear of him? He's a very nice man. And he said, essentially, you're not going to be a dictator, are you? Tell me. I think he was trying to give me a nicer question that maybe you guys would. He meant it very well. I said, I'm going to be a dictator for one day. We're going to do two things. The border, we're going to make it so tight you can't get in unless you come in legally. And the other is energy. We're going to drill, baby, drill. After that, I'm not going to be a dictator. After that, I'm not going to be a dictator.
Well, you know, the problem I have with this is like that's not being a dictator in the first place. So
It's really
putting
not.
a couple executive orders through to try to get this economy back on its feet and get this country going again isn't a dictator. If anything, then if that's being a dictator, then Joe Biden's a dictator when he signed over 50 or 60 executive orders in the first 4 days.
Yeah, it's not being a dictator. Like I said, it's a word choice that he knew that they were going to run with that. He knew exactly what he needed to do to spew it up to see how far they would push it, which gives people the opportunity to see the truth. You know, I think this is a perfect example to see that.
Well, do you know the stages to propagate a lie, for media organizations to propagate a lie?
No, go ahead.
One is to, I don't know all the stages, but one, very simple, is to create the lie. Then two is to get a professional to come on and repeat the lie. And then three, I think, is then all the other media companies come up with the same lie and propagate it and basically circulate it to the general public. And that is how you solidify a lie.
Well, yeah, that's clear. That's what the media has been doing in everything, you know, and they're using the same words. I do believe that. So I think that they pick a word, they attach to it, and then, like you said, first a professional person, somebody respects, says that. That's perfect. I never heard that, but that's absolutely exactly what it is. It makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. Good for you.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about like how they can come up with all this stuff and why so many people believe it is because they simply throw the lie out there and people go, maybe that's true. And then they bring on a professional, that might be a journalist, a doctor, that agrees with their lie. And then it basically solidifies the lie. And then all the other media stations run with that. And it's crazy because you know, it's so funny. I was having a conversation with a journalist once, and I told them, I'm like, you're a secondary source. Like you're a journalist, but you're a secondary source, and that's not a bad thing. Tim Pool is a secondary source.
It's what
right?
it is. Yeah.
So
absolutely.
it's simply what it is,
yeah.
and they got really offended by it. It's like, it's okay, guys. Like, I need you to know these things because you have to realize that there's that game of telephone. You know, misinformation happens between sources. So and that's how basically the media propagates lies throughout this entire country. And you have to be aware of these things so you can be informed. They want to sit here and teach kids and teach people like you and I how to break down misinformation online. And you also have to know how it's created if you want to be able to break it down.
Yeah, and that's true. You know, you mentioned misinformation. So, you know, like the fact checkers, we all see the fact checkers. They call Trump a dictator, but you remember Biden, he was going to enforce this. What was the name of it? What was the person that they put were basically like a fact check police? He called it. There was something, they assigned somebody at the very beginning and then they didn't stay. You remember that at the beginning of his administration?
The something of misinformation, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
there was
exactly.
that woman that was running it that was known for lying or dancing on TikTok.
Correct. And that ended really fast. They completely stopped that because they knew it was going nowhere. So in misinformation, they like to put these fact checks. We've all seen them. We're watching something come online and we get this fact check that pops up. I actually had one of those show up on my Instagram at Stand Up Now 2022. And I said, you know what? This isn't a lie. All I did was I copied something exactly of how it was aired online. I put it on there and I put a caption to it, not changing the caption, just spotlighting something that was said. So it took me like 6 hours to figure out how to dispute it, what I had to do. And after 2 weeks, it got taken down. But how many people take the time when that fact check gets assigned?
And Instagram is so bad and guilty of that. They're sitting there, they're flagging accounts like mine.
Well, anybody can do it.
High res, for sharing
Anybody can do
information
it. It can
that is
be a
considered to be
third
true.
party. Yeah, it could be a third party person. It could be anybody could say, oh, this is wrong. I'm going to report this. And it automatically puts that flag. And then you have to take the time and energy to prove that it's actually real. But people just viewing it are led to see it as misleading,
Yeah.
and you can see that in all the media source reports. Yeah, there you go. Disinformation Governance Board.
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up because I don't like to, spew misinformation. So I wanted to get it right.
Exactly. Well said. Fact check that.
Yeah. Fact check us, guys.
And that's how we want to do it, guys. We want to bring you, and this is from the Homeland Security website. We're not making this up. So that's what we're trying to do on the show, guys. We're trying to bring you guys information so you can discern what the truth is, because the truth always prevails. Truth always prevails. I love, I dig into the word every day. I try to relate that in my life and let the Spirit show me, So in reading, I saw, I love to go to the book of Proverbs. So in Proverbs, guys, they are 31 Proverbs. There's 31 days in the month. I was taught that it's designed that way for you to read one proverb every month. Now, of course, you got every other month doesn't have 31. You got the leap year, but majority, there's 31 days in a month, the 31 Proverbs. You should go in and dig in and read some of that wisdom every day. That's how it was designed.
That's beautiful. I should do that. I should pick out a month. Maybe do it in February. 28 days for me to read 31 Proverbs.
Well, no, you don't have to read the whole thing because it's a lot and it becomes redundant. What I do is I'll just open it up to that. So whatever today is, the 12th of the month, open up to Proverbs 12, just skim and just read a couple verses. You don't have to read the whole thing, but something's going to stick out to you. But in this today, I wasn't reading from the 12th, but I was reading from Proverbs 12:22. And in that, what it says about truth is, the Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in people who are trustworthy. Now, those are words that were written thousands of years ago, guys. And I know that they are true today. And how many people are not telling the truth today and that are spewing misinformation, but we know that God does not anoint that and it's not meant for us.
You know what another thing is too is and somebody said this recently and I've really kind of latched on to it. They can take everything from you, your home, your livelihoods, but the one thing they can't take from you is your integrity. And I think that's beautiful.
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah. And your faith.
Speaking
you
of
can
integrity,
take that everywhere you go.
Everybody's calling Trump a dictator. I wanted to show you this video. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but this video of Trump basically saying what the best retribution will be. And then I want to talk about it because I think one of the reasons I want to vote for Trump is because I thought he was going to go in here to the government and sit there and dismantle it because, drain the swamp like he originally said. But I want to see what.
Pull it up. Let me see it. Pull it up. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen this one.
Well, first of all, a lot of people would say that that's not so bad. Look what they did. Russia hoax, the FBI Twitter hoax, the 51 intelligence agents hoax, all of these different hoaxes that they did. I mean, a lot of people would say that's probably quite normal. I'm not going to have time for retribution. We're going to make this country so successful again. I'm not going to have time for retribution. And remember this, our ultimate retribution is success.
Now, could he have not said that any better?
That's perfect. I think that's so true.
And
that is, you should always, if somebody's holding you back, mocking you, or anything like that, the best way to do it is prove them wrong. Show them how well you are at doing at what you do. That is the best medicine. And I love that he said that because that's the spirit. That's the leadership that, to me, I saw Trump had in 2016 through 2020. That everything that he said he was going to do, he did. And I'll tell you what, everything he said that was going to happen if Joe Biden got into office, it's happened.
Yeah.
Every single thing.
Imagine if you're sitting here, you're paying exorbitant amounts in food prices, gas prices, rent, and everything else, and you're mad at the government and you're mad at what Joe has basically done to this country. What's your best retribution? Is to vote for Donald Trump and be successful. I think that's just so well put. I think both sides can identify with this.
Absolutely. I love that you said it like that because that's what we need we need success in this. Everybody is feeling these high cost prices. Everybody is seeing the difference. For the first time in our lives, we have seen a vast difference of what life was just 3-4 years ago to where we are now. And I think that's a big purpose of why we need to stand up. Don't let the media control you. Do your own research, use your own brain, and vote for the person that you know is going to give you the life that you deserve and take America to the greatness that it's made for.
There's also a second note to this. If he says he's going to go in there and drain the swamp again, and he's going to do this and do that, they're going to pin right off the idea that he said he was going to be a dictator, and they're going to continue to call him a dictator. So, he may not be able to say what he's actually going to do, which is why the way he put it, in my personal opinion, was so eloquent and right on the nose. I think that's one thing Vivek could take from him. Like that one line, just that one line, not everything, just that one line. Vivek can go around saying that, and I think he'll sound great.
Yeah, no, it was perfect. It was well done. And I hadn't seen that clip, so I'm glad that you shared it with us. And if there's somebody watching that hasn't seen that, leave us a comment, let you know what you guys are thinking about that and what you think about.
Maybe he talked to Vivek.
I'm sure they are talking. I dearly believe they are talking. I think that Vivek is on the campaign trail and has been for a while, and being on the debate stage for Trump. I really feel that. I could be wrong, but that's just what I feel.
Well, that's my opinion. In that town hall that he knows who his VP is. Do you have any
Correct.
ideas?
He did say that. Well, he did say that it wasn't going to be Chris Christie. But at the same time,
he says he likes him a lot more, though.
He does. So, and I will eat something, because I said earlier a couple episodes back that I felt like Chris Christie was going to stay in this, that he wasn't going to give up until he was hard nosed to the end. And I was wrong. I was wrong on that. That was my prediction for that. So I'll call it out. I knew he wasn't going to last, past the primaries, but I thought he was going to at least get some votes in. I guess he didn't want to be embarrassed, so he kind of just bowed out. So
let's be serious. He's always had trouble finishing the first leg of the race. You know what I mean?
He finished what's put in front of him most of the time. So I'm pretty sure about that. But we're gonna keep it clean.
He dropped out the race, picked up a sandwich.
I didn't say it. He did.
I also want to say, what was it? You know what? Never mind. I probably should. Yeah.
Moving on along. We're gonna keep it clean. Anyway. So
in comment, Lior.
Yeah, appreciate it. So in addition to what we see from the left media, I want to hint on another thing, because I'm a sports fan. I like sports. I know I've said it a few times on the show. Everybody's talking about Aaron Rodgers was kicked off the Pat McAfee show. So if you don't know, this is a ESPN commentary show. Aaron Rodgers has been on there on Tuesdays. They actually made a segment, Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. I mean, he's got mass amounts of viewers. So recently on a show, Aaron Rodgers made some comments about Jimmy Kimmel and him possibly being on the Epstein list and some other things. They've also been against Aaron Rodgers for a while because he's, anti-vax and things of that nature is what they're calling him. But we're going to share this clip. This was just from the other day before he got kicked off the show, and what I believe led to him getting kicked off. We'll go ahead and play the clip.
That you spent a lot of time working on. So I'd like to put this to bed to move forward. I don't understand, to just finish this up. I do understand. But I don't understand a Mike Voss comment because he didn't help out either. And I'm going to quote Mike Voss.
Pat put his hand over his mouth.
Aaron made a dumb and factually incorrect joke about Jimmy Kimmel.
He knew it was coming.
Happened. We all realized that in the moment. Mike, you're not helping. You're not helping, because I just read earlier exactly what I said. So, and this is the game plan of the media, and this is what they do. They try and cancel. And it's not just me. It's nowhere near just me. I mean, if you look at all the different people who've been censored from the internet especially during COVID, the canceling that went on, the censorship, using the government to try and censor people, that happened. And if that doesn't work, then they go to name calling. I mentioned a lot of the names that I've been called, and they don't stick, because I'm not anti-vax. I'm interested in informed consent and things that are in the best interest of my body. I'm not a MAGA.
Agree.
I've never had any affiliation.
He's not a MAGA. What a... Bet he's voting for Trump, though.
I'm sure he is. But that's the thing. Like, what it really, is a MAGA. I mean, they like to put these labels and they attach to these words. That's a word that the media has really just spewed into, where people hear MAGA. That's Trump's, campaign slogan in 2016. But it's you're now a right-wing extremist. You're a hate person. That's what they've attached MAGA to, which is not at all what it means. Not at all what the movement's about.
Yeah, but if you haven't been called a far right extremist or a racist in the last 3 years, are you even living anymore? You know what I mean?
Regardless of that, I mean, I don't think that that word, the people they've spewed it, they've attached onto because they want to, put people in certain boxes and they just want to spew the hate. I think that's all around spewing the hate and dividing the nation even more.
Well,
It's
that's
a
the beautiful thing
division.
is they've done it so much. I don't think it sticks anymore. You know, I
To
was
some people, it does.
right, right. Well, yeah, if you get offended easily, you can call me a racist all you want. I know I'm not. So I hang out with black conservatives. Do you? It's like, come on.
For sure, but it's not just black conservatives. That's the thing. That's the thing. I think it needs to be, black people in general, or different people, or
Totally,
I think all of that.
totally.
So, but that's what I'm saying. But that's what they think that MAGA extremists would say or do is I only hang out with conservative people. I won't talk to anybody else unless they're directly aligned with my views. I don't need to speak to them. That's what the media is doing,
Well,
and
no,
that's
I
what I'm getting at.
specifically picked black conservatives because the left will say, "Oh, you're a racist or yada this, you're yada that," but they won't talk to black conservatives. They think that black conservatives have have betrayed their own black people, which is obviously disgusting and untrue because they like to put people in a box. They like to say, "You're black, so you have to think this way." It's like the left doesn't
Because
hang out
that's a
with black
category.
conservatives.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a categorization. They want to put them in the box. That's what I'm saying. They want to put everybody in a box, close the lid, and that's who you are, and that's it. And if you're not part of that box, you should not talk to those other people.
Have I
That's
told you
what it
about
is.
my theory of the hyper categorization of everything?
I have not, and we're about to hear something new, guys. I'm really excited. Are you? Let's go for it. Go ahead.
Well, I just think, humans like to hypercategorize everything. We like to put these things in the boxes, just like you had said, and it leads to division and divide. And that's continually what they like to do to hold this like stranglehold over us. They like to keep that over our head. You're this, you're that. This is why we can never be friends. It's like absolutely absurd. But it's how the people that are in power hold grip over us. Is they continue to put us in boxes by categorizing or hypercategorizing who we are as people.
Absolutely. No, I agree 100%. Yeah, I don't call it that. I mean, that's a great name. That's a great label. You're really good at that. But I agree 1,000% on that. 100%.
Did you just tell me I'm really good at categorizing things? Like I'm a hyper categorizer or something?
Well, that was a great name. That was a great label that you listed for the hyper categorization. It's just saying it.
Come to me if you guys need labels. I got labels for labels.
Very good tag. Getting back to the Aaron Rodgers, Pat McAfee. So after he goes on and says this, so if you don't know, Mike Voss, he is head up in ESPN, guys. So the next day on the show, Pat McAfee show, Pat McAfee comes out and he says this.
Messed up in that particular aspect. And by we, I mean, we're a conversation show. People are having conversations. We live in a country that has freedom of speech, but also you're going to have to deal with the consequences of your freedom of speech. So what I'm saying is we've given a lot of people who've been waiting for us to fail a lot of ammo and things to attack us for over the last week. And we would love to get back to the point where we just move on and continue to silence all the haters over here who can't negotiate as good as I can, all the people over here who can't create a show as good as us, and all the people up here who are just going to always be here, and they're going to hustle and do their thing, which I respect. But we need to do that, and that is our focus. That is our goal. And Aaron Rodgers is a Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. He's a 4-time MVP. He's a massive piece of the NFL story. Whenever you go back and tell it, he will be a huge part of it. We are very lucky to get a chance to chat with him and learn from him. Some of his thoughts and opinions, though, do piss off a lot of people. And I'm pumped that is no longer going to be every single Wednesday of my life, which it has been for the last few weeks. On Friday, obviously, I threw us into the fire as well. Forever stand by that. Everything else, though, just can't do that and not what we want to be known for. And I'm also pumped that I don't have to do these types of talks anymore. So with that being said, sports are alive right now.
Yep. So after he comes out and says that, right? So everybody took it as Aaron Rodgers is no longer going to be on the show. He's done because he basically called out ESPN's boss. And he was like, that's not going to happen. But Pat McAfee, he owns the creative rights to his show. That's very smart in how he structured that contract. So if he wants to bring somebody on, he's allowed to, no matter who they are, no matter what the cost. Now, we all know that ESPN is owned by Disney. They own 80% of ESPN. So they tried and wanted to silence the truth, didn't want him to come on. Now, what do you think about what Pat McAfee says about penalties of freedom of speech?
Well, I thought that was awfully ironic. Like, we all have freedom of speech, which means you suffer the consequences. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
like,
maybe he
I
meant
swear
like
nobody's telling me to kick off Aaron Rodgers, but
exactly. So is it like the penalty? So even though he's going to have Aaron Rodgers on, maybe he's off all the time. Is it limited? Is there some limited access there?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. Didn't you hear he's back?
Yeah, he's back, but
Yeah.
how? In what situation will there be Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays? Because if you go on their YouTube channel, they literally have a category Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays. It's
That's
that
funny.
big. He brings that much viewership to that show.
Oh, I believe it. I don't think it's
Yeah.
the Pat McAfee show without Aaron Rodgers, to be honest.
Not on Tuesdays, absolutely not. If you
Not
guys don't
anymore.
know, Pat McAfee, I mean, ESPN2, when there's a game, they're on the sidelines now. I mean, they're commentating for that. This show really has exploded because he allows people to come on and speak freely. So what does that tell you about what people want? They want to hear the truth. They want people to just be open and share the truth. And everybody wants realness and rawness. And I think that's one thing that Donald Trump brought. In 2016, and people see it and they recognize is real. That's 100% true all the time. And people are looking for it.
I remember when Trump was talking about the tax code, he was like, I use the same tax codes she does, which is why she will never change it, because it's the same people that give her all of her money. And you're just like, did he just tell us what everyone is thinking? Blew our minds, blew our heads straight out of our brains straight out of our heads. It's like, whoa, he's real.
Yeah, 100%. He's really in so much everything that he does. Yeah. So just yesterday, Pat, just like you said, Aaron Rodgers was back on the show. Show. So I love that. I love that, Pat McAfee didn't bow down and let the higher, ESPN execs control him and totally take it out. Maybe he got so much backlash from viewers. We don't know, but it was really good that he did have Aaron Rodgers back on the show, and that's going to continue. In what stance, we don't know, but we'll tune you guys in for that as it moves forward.
Do you remember there was like I can't remember if it was a politician or a business person that was like, oh no, I'm stepping down from this, but then it was Don Lemon. Remember, he was like, oh, guys, I'm not going to be on CNN anymore. And then he stepped down from his position. And then he was given his own show, the Don Lemon Show. But it was at like an afternoon appearance. He didn't get the nightly show anymore. It created, so it all created media hype. And maybe that's what this was all about, right?
Could be. I saw that he's actually going to be doing a show on X now. He's doing a show on X like Tucker Carlson. So just like Tucker Carlson moved over from the media conglomerate that controls what you say, now he's going on X. So I'm curious where Don Lemon is going to go. And maybe we'll see Tucker and Don Lemon. Maybe there's something there. I think that's what we need.
Well, I wonder if Don Lemon's going to have any actual opinions of his own once he's on this thing. It's like, okay, so now he's producing his own show. I think Tucker's a really talented news host, but is Don Lemon going to be pushing the same narrative that CNN was giving him? Because I don't think that will drive results for him.
I don't think so either. I mean, the left, look, there's Democrats that use X. There's 100% viewers on there, and maybe he's going after that and just trying to do a different, maybe he sees what Tucker Carlson's doing and the success that he's having, and he kind of wants to say, you know what, I can do that route too for my viewership. But is there something more? Will he not since he doesn't have those people telling him what to say, will it change a little bit, or is it going to be the exact same thing? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I love that Elon Musk has allowed this platform, to do that on. And so that's what we need, and I respect Elon Musk tremendously for that.
I just see Don Lemon calling up BLM. Hey, listen, guys, I need a couple producers. Can you send me some? You know what I mean? It's just the same Marxist view that he was spewing on CNN. He's like, I thought you were going to say he was going to.
I thought you were going to say he was going to call him up. He was going to call BLM up for a few riots. He needs some things going in his direction, something to spew about.
Can you guys burn a Wendy's behind me while I spew the news on Twitter?
Such a hoax, such a mess, man.
Yeah,
tell you what,
it'll be great. I will watch Don Lemon's show, the first couple. I definitely want to check it out.
I'm going to see some. I do that. I'll tell you what, I tune in when I'm seeing something on the news. I say, what, I'm going to switch over to this other news network and see how they're reporting it. And I just see the difference, and I'm like, wow, I think to myself, there's millions of people that are watching this that believe this.
Yeah.
There's that many people that are misled in America. And that's one of the things that promoted me to create this show, to bring truth, but also to spread the word of God, because I think that truth and that needs to be shared with everybody. And that's not something that you can get everywhere. And so that's what we're.
Let me ask you a question. So what's your opinion on Fox News nowadays?
I don't watch it.
Do you think that they've kind of jumped off of their right-wing narrative and they're just more of the same old like leftist shill that everyone else has become?
Yeah, they started to do that in 2020. The night, it wasn't even long after the election. The election results weren't really in. I saw the shift and what was going on, and then with Tucker Carlson being taken off, and the different viewership and the way they talk and their talking points, and it's the exact same thing. It's the same beast. It's part of the same beast.
I would say, like, I think that switch happened when they called that Arizona election early. But what I want to just point out, which I think is insane, you have actual Democrats now talking about Nikki Haley. Is that blow your mind or what? You have Republicans now begging to be on CNN's town hall, which include Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley. And now you have Democrats actively being like, we might vote for Nikki Haley. Like, I just feel like the brainwashing is just unbelievable to watch. You don't have anybody that can come up with their own ideas anymore. They will vote for a Republican as long as CNN tells them to.
Yeah, I don't believe that anybody should vote for Nikki Haley. I think that Nikki Haley is going to tear our country further into the war machine that it's already headed on, and where it's been, years and years and years ago.
Yeah, but just going back to our opening video, right, with Liz Cheney, you have Whoopi Goldberg cheering on Liz Cheney. You have CNN cheering on Nikki
But Liz
Haley.
Cheney isn't a Republican. Liz Cheney's not a Republican. She's as much Republican as Mitt Romney is.
Right, but in Republican today's standings, right? But you would categorize her under the Cheney and Bush Republicans, right? So a rhino in any sense, but it doesn't matter. I think if like we don't call her Republicans, what matters, I think, is Democrats have called her Republican for 20 years and Nikki Haley Republican for 10 or 15 years. But now, all because they're put on CNN and they're put on these leftist channels, they're going, I might vote for Nikki Haley. CNN has the ability to change people's minds from voting from a Democrat to a Republican. That just blows my mind. I just think that's insane. Like, wait, you don't even stand by your own morals, values, and ideas. You'll literally vote for a Republican because a news organization tells you to.
So let me ask you this: how much of that is not about Republican or Democrat, but it's that they feel that they know that Biden is not going to win. There's no chance he's going to win, and that they will take anybody over Trump. So if they have to support Nikki Haley or whoever it is, as long as it's not Trump, they're fine with that.
I guess for me, that's less surprising that, or less like mind blowing to me than somebody actually advocating for Democrats, actively advocating for Republicans to vote for. I think that's what shocks me more. Is like people are willing to just drop the whole, like, yeah, I agree. Like, a lot of these people are voting for Nikki Haley because they don't want Biden or Trump, but I think it's crazy that they're willing to jump political lines because CNN told them to.
I think that that's what they do. They listen. They're tuned in. That they're not thinking for themselves. They're going to do whatever that channel says. Absolutely, and that just goes to.
I just think the brainwash. Like, somebody give these people a sponge. They got to wash these brains. You know what it's just shocking to me that that's how deep it is.
But you got to think how many people for years, that's their trusted network. They tune into these people every single day. They live, breed them. They trust them.
Yeah,
and when you trust somebody, you believe anything they say.
Right. It blows.
We're from a different generation. We're from a different generation.
Hey, you guys don't like that RFK guy because we don't like him. And you know who we do like? A Republican that's completely on the other side of the aisle. You guys should vote for this person, and they're just walking in stride.
Speaking of RFK, I saw he just got approved on a ballot. He just got approved to appear on his first ballot. So he's moving forward. I think it's in Utah, I believe. He just got approved on the ballot.
Is he going to be on the Ohio ballot or the one that everybody's at right now?
The Iowa? I don't know if that. I don't. It hasn't. I don't think that was the one that I saw, but I think it was in the Utah. I don't think it was Iowa yet. But he doesn't need to be because that's the Republican caucus. No, he's just saying because he's running independent.
Oh, so yeah. You're right.
No, yeah, he doesn't have to
for
be
the primary.
Yeah, he doesn't have to. He's independent.
Sorry, kidneys.
You're good. So anyway, so going into
You didn't pick
misinformation,
up
right?
on
And how we I didn't hear it.
No, you got
It's
it
like
though.
kidneys. I was like, what the hell is he talking about?
Kidneys.
Oh, gotcha. All right. So anyways, moving on along, guys. Here we go. Because we want to get this in a timeline here. So talking about misinformation and spewing hate and trigger words, like we've been talking about this whole time on this episode. Just yesterday, Hakeem Jeffries, right? He is interviewed and he's the minority. Now, this is the guy that the Democrats voted for multiple times to be Speaker of the House. He continuously got unanimous vote. He's got all the Democrats backing him. He is the voice that they want in the Democratic Party. Let's listen to how he starts off his news conference just the other day and what he has to share to the American people.
Congress to serve the people. This week has once again revealed that extreme MAGA Republicans have zero interest in doing anything productive that is designed to benefit the American people. House Republicans are the party of insurrection, impeachment, and illegitimate investigation.
Impeachment.
Nothing more, nothing less. Insurrection, impeachment, and illegitimate investigations. These extremists have made clear once again this week that they have no ideas, no agenda, no vision, and have made no progress on solving problems for everyday Americans.
So
It's
those 3 points right there. To me, I hear that and I hear false. That's completely false. Impeachment. Nobody has been impeached. No votes of them have. If I remember correctly, they say that Trump was impeached. Not once, but they tried twice, right? Twice impeached. Isn't that what they say? So the Democrats did that. They did impeachment, And then they say false arrest. I'm like, who was arrested falsely? Who was arrested falsely? I'm think back and I think you had Steve Bannon that was arrested. You had General Flynn. You had how many other people have the Democrat? How many times has the FBI gone out to people's homes, knocked down their doors, and arrested people? I mean, that's fake arrest. Not to mention Trump has how many lawsuits going on that we know that we see the money being moved. We know that these DAs have met with the Biden White House. How much of this is? I was like, this isn't what the Republicans are doing. This is what the Democrats are doing, and they want to use this word insurrection. They've been labeling it from the very beginning, but yet we know that Nancy Pelosi's daughter, who's a film student, was there filming everything. And we know that there was FBI agents there. The videos are out. You can see for yourself. You can go to the White House website and see for yourself. There's FBI agents clearly undercover there provoking what was going on. If it was an insurrection and they knew what was going on, why weren't people going there with armed? Why weren't they going there to overthrow something? They were walking within, like I saw a meme and it was perfect. It was like the guardrails, right? They didn't even trip over the guardrails. They're walking within, the roped curtains throughout the Capitol. And it's like, it's crazy to me that these are the things that they're doing, but they're pointing the finger the other way using these labels, but they're the ones doing these things.
Well, Democrats have always been the classic projection, right? A classic case of projection for them. They're the ones sitting here arresting their foes. I mean, there are people that didn't even walk inside the Capitol. There were people that weren't even at the Capitol that are actually doing time. Enrique Antario, who is one of the leaders of the Proud Boys. Now, I understand if you got qualms against the Proud Boys, I get it. But he wasn't even at the Capitol. I don't think he was allowed inside the D.C. area because he got like a gun charge or something while he was heading into town. He ended up being somewhere else, sent a text message with, hey, good luck guys today, or something of the matter, and they arrested him for it, and now he's serving nearly 20 years in jail. He was never there. And then you also have, who's the guy that's on InfoWars with the big beard?
I can't remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, him as well. He never went inside the Capitol. He was out there on a megaphone talking about our rights, and he was sentenced to 6 months in a federal prison. So that's the scary thing. It's a classic case of projection. You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of a guy that can't think of what to say next and just says words like, oh, hate, extremism. You know, he's
Well,
just
well, if you watch that video, so it's like 27 minutes long. We're not going to bore you guys with that, I promise. But you can watch it for yourself if you so choose. But he attaches to those words throughout those 25 minutes. He just goes on and on repeating it. Like, I really feel like that Michelle Obama interview came out the other day. And she says she's fearful for the 2024 election. And we talked about in the episode, I feel like they're trying to stir this hate ball right now. And it's clear through the talking points from all the Democrats. The one thing about the Democrats do when they do something, they do it together and they have a plan. And you will continue to hear these hate-filled talking points to stir up hate and anger and to fearmong people to think one thing. We saw at the beginning of this show, Whoopi Goldberg says Trump says he's going to be dictator for life. Trump said dictator for a day, making a joke about closing the border, not a joke about closing the border, but a statement where he said, I'm going to close the border and I am going to drill. After that, I'm done. That's what he classifies as dictator. And that got transferred over to dictator for life, no elections ever. He's going to destroy this nation. So I think a lot of these hate-filled talking points are going to continue to come on. And I just give everybody a warning to use your spirit of discernment on what is truth for the 2024. Because I think there's going to be a lot of mistruth and misinformation this whole time.
Speaking about projection, Whoopi Goldberg said in that video that if Donald Trump gets elected, they will kill journalists and gays. And something, I'm not sure if you know about this, but it's been reported today that there was a American journalist in Ukraine that was very vocal about the Ukraine-Russian war that has died. He has died in jail. And nobody said anything today. Not the Biden administration. Nobody in government has said anything about it today. His father is the one that had to notify people. So you have Zelensky and Biden actually having American journalists die in their hands, but they'll tell you Donald Trump's going to kill journalists.
Yeah, well, I did not know that. And, and speaking of not having elections, Zelensky's not having elections. That's who's not having elections. And they said that that's for democracy. And what have they been saying over here? That what they're doing is for democracy. They continue to spew these. So I think these are these talking points. These are these keywords. I tell everybody, put your antennas up, be tuned in, use your discernment to know what's going on. Antennas up.
Antennas up. Boom,
Antennas
boom.
up.
I feel like there's a hat coming for Stand Up Now apparel right now. It's like
maybe so. Hey, we might have something. Some people have the tinfoil cap. We're gonna have the antennas up. Antennas up.
I love it.
That might be a whole segment. That might be a whole segment. I think we might have just birthed the segment on the 18th episode, which is life, guys. We're tuning in, guys. So if you like this, share it with somebody else. Continue to support us. This is just growing. It's at its infancy stage. 2024 is going to be amazing blessings coming forward on the show and for everybody watching. So thank you guys for all the support.
Yeah, thank you.
Moving on to the end of this interview with Jeffries, I want to spotlight this. So he goes 25 minutes talking about hate, MAGA, they're the problem. But when a reporter asks him a question about what's going on in his own state, this is what he has to say.
Question. New York City school closed for remote learning recently, sheltered hundreds of families and migrants. Do you have any reaction to that?
Yeah, I haven't been fully briefed on the situation at Madison High School, but I look forward to receiving a greater level of information as to why the decision was made, and most importantly, ensuring that we can continue to provide the access to the educational opportunity to all New York City students without disruption moving forward.
Is that it?
That's it. That's all he had to say. So he had no idea about it. He said he hadn't been briefed on it. We all know, if you guys haven't seen, this was in New York where they kicked kids out of a high school. They're going to be doing in-home learning, and they're busing migrants in to live in the high school that the people pay taxes to take care of, for their kids to go to school. Now the kids are home. And what strain does that put on parents and families that they just had? We just went from lockdowns of kids being at home, and that strain and stress, and not to mention the stress on the families, but the children, right? And the lapses. We saw the decline in learning, but yet they don't care about what the education your child's getting. They don't care about the stress it's going to put on you as a U.S. citizen. All they care about is doing something for the mass amounts of migrants that are coming into this nation. But we don't have a border problem. They say the border is not open, but they're continuing to bus these children in, or people in, and they're putting them in schools. You know, Elon Musk came out with a tweet when he saw this, and this is what Elon Musk had to say. Now, Elon's been to the border. He showed some things, and we have a clip here we're about to show you guys in a second of what's going on recently in the border. And I haven't seen this clip. Bo actually found it, so I'm curious of where this is going to go. You know, Bo always finds some good stuff. But Elon Musk tweets out, he says, "This is what happens when you run out of hotel rooms. Soon cities will run out of schools to vacate. Then they will come for your homes." That's what Elon Musk had to say about that. And I think he's very true. We actually saw in another state where they're asking people, hey, why don't you let them move in?
Yep.
Why don't you let them move in? So that's what they're asking now. When is it going to be, this is what you have to do? You know, so
yeah, you know, it's wild right now because you had brought it up, the strain on parents. Imagine parents going to work. They have to stay home to take care of their kids, make sure they're online. You know, I heard that several of the teachers actually didn't show up to teach their Zoom classes that day.
I mean, I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the teachers making a stance because maybe the teachers say, hey, we don't want to do this. So maybe the teachers didn't show up because that's their way of, hey, we're not going to fall into this trap again because the teachers don't want to do it. You know, think about that. I mean, how many kids with disabilities that are in these schools where the parents don't have the means, the resources?
Yep.
You know, this is a huge strain, but they don't care. They don't care about the American people.
You already see articles coming out. They're doing collateral damage right now. You see articles that are basically stating like, oh, it was only just for one day. Well, just remember, it was 2 weeks to stop the spread of fascism. So, you know, one day is going to turn into 2 next time and then a whole week after that. So you got to be careful. It's this slippery slope.
They're going to be moving them around. They're going to be moving around. So you just see the border crisis is still going on. So I want to see what this video that you said you had. So let's share it for the viewers and for myself.
Okay. Yeah. Here we go, guys. Let's tee this baby up.
So what is this? Give us a little back. Where did you?
So he's going to be speaking in Spanish. So I'm going to talk over it here for a second, guys. Basically, he's asking this gentleman who the kids are, the relation to them, and he's going to answer this. This is a video from the border. The kids are passed out. They're hard asleep.
So, remember I told you guys that they're going to say that? Yep. ¿Qué le pasó a la mamá?
Me abandonó, los dejamos, pues, separamos.
¿Te abandonó?
Sí, soy
¿Y te
padre
dejó a los
soltero.
dos niños?
Sí.
Ok. ¿Y cuántos años tienen los niños?
Él tiene 4 y ella 3.
4 and 3 years old. And he says that his wife abandoned him and she left him the 2 kids. It's breakup season in down there, South of America, yo. There's a lot of heartbreaks going on.
Oh, man. You know what's really sad though is most of these children look like this isn't just a natural sleep. They are out.
Look, they're sedated. They are sedated. Look at them.
Look at them. This.
So yeah, so if you guys didn't hear that, they said the children were sedated. They apparently had opened up a child's eyes and flashed light in them, and their pupils didn't dilate, also implying that they were sedated and or drugged. So these children are asleep, and they repeat the common story before the guy even says it. He repeats the common story. He's like, I told you I was going to hear this, because they keep saying that the mother left them and that he's basically come across the border with these kids. That's
what they're told to say. Smuggler. That's smuggling. That's human trafficking. 100%. Yeah. And these innocent kids are ripped from their families. And now you said that's a storyline. And we know human trafficking is real. We know what's going on. I mean, you see these videos and stuff coming out where people are at the border and they're raping these children and these girls, and they're hanging underwear on the line. And it's a sign that they use for these smugglers. It's disgusting, the evilness in the world, and that our administration has allowed this to just be wide open, you know, and be exploited like this.
I'm going to show
They've
you
made
another
it.
video here in just a second, Gerard. Allowed? I don't even think we're just allowing it. I think we're actively supporting it. I think your tax dollars are going into it. And that's why we need to be big and bold about this. So Texas today has stopped the Border Patrol from entering into Eagle Pass, where a lot of the migrants are coming across the border. They basically said, nope, you're not doing it anymore, because the Border Patrol are the ones that are documenting these migrants, putting them in migrant camps, then putting them on buses and sending them to the airport to be shipped all over the country. What's happening in this world is insane. I wish we had more time to dive into this topic, but I want to show you guys this video, this one more video I got right here. This is James O'Keefe. James O'Keefe, since we went to America Fest, I don't think James O'Keefe ever left Phoenix. James O'Keefe was going to the airport and basically confronted a bus driver about why he was transporting migrants to the airport, because there were tons of illegal immigrants. I'm gonna change the language. Illegal immigrants all over the airport sitting down. Ashley St. Clair broke the story, but now he is actively in Phoenix investigating where they're coming from and what's going. So he has done a full report here. I'm only going to show you a little bit of this clip, but it gives you a brief inside look at what's happening in Phoenix. And it's happening in Texas too. So that's pretty much why the National Guard has stopped Border Patrol from getting in.
They won't let the migrants off the bus. We're going to follow that bus all the way to the airport. He's backing up into you. This guy almost backed up into us. Whoa! Whoa, did you get that video?
Wow.
She's blocking traffic.
Do you have your ID?
I do, but am I being detained?
What do you need to do here at the airport?
Calling police on American journalists. They're shutting the door on us here. Sir, why are you blocking the camera?
No discussion.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it.
And that's
you
just
saw.
the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, you saw some of those clips where these people, because when we were leaving Phoenix, we were leaving the airport, you saw these people and they're all flying. Was it Delta? They're all flying on.
I think it was Delta or United. I'm not sure which one. You might be right.
Yeah, they all had tickets and they didn't know where they were going. They just had their tickets. They were giving them, and that's what's happened. So it's clear. Maybe I didn't say. Maybe I used the wrong word, but the Biden administration has definitely made this issue. They have invited. There's an open invitation, and they know that, and that's what's going on. So you got to ask, why is this? I personally think that it's for votes. They know how many Americans are waking up to the truth. They see the things that we have been dealing with. We saw just 4 years ago how different the world was. They know how little bit that they say that they won from the votes, even with they doing whatever they did. We know more dead people voted in 2020 election than ever before. We know that to be true.
I know my great grandfather's never voted for a Democrat. I don't get it.
He did in 2020. Did in 2020. So, but so they're moving these migrants around to the states that they know where they need to, and then you have places that aren't doing voter ID for this. So, or in Arizona. In Arizona, I saw a thing there. You don't even have to have. You have to have a driver's license for elections, but if it's a federal election, you don't have to have anything, but only for federal elections. So,
you also have to have an ID to fly, but now apparently you don't even have to have a name if you're an illegal immigrant. So,
yeah, it's clear that the current administration does not have Americans' best interests at heart. It's clear from this episode that the media wants to mislead and push a certain agenda, and it is our job and duty as Americans to know the facts, seek out the truth, and to stand firm in that, guys. So that's what we're going to continue to bring you. We appreciate everybody for tuning in to our show today. If you enjoyed it, share it with somebody else. Leave us a comment, guys. We appreciate everybody for tuning in, all the shares, all the followers. If you want to support the brand, we are a growing brand. We have a huge selection of men's, women's apparel, and some things for kids. We got some nice snapback hats. You can see Bo's rocking it. Always look good. If you don't like the flat bill, we got the curved trucker style as well. But you can get all that stuff, guys, at standupnowapparel.com. If you use the promo code listening, you will receive 20% off your first order. And just know that 10% of every sale gets tithed back to Wounded Veterans Relief Fund and other organizations and people that are standing up that need support. I actually, Kelly Walker was on our show yesterday. He is a true patriot. He has been attacked. We sent him a donation just yesterday to support him in his struggles. You know, they're going through some financial hardships right now. If you guys want to support him, he's got an amazing story. Go back, watch our video from yesterday. We're going to have some shorts come out about that. So that's what we're all about. I think we're all called to do whatever we can do to support other Americans and patriots in this fight. And we need to stand up now, and we need to stand up together.
Hey guys, and no, Gerard is humble. This shirt right here, it not only looks great, it feels great. It's some of the best cotton you can find. The hat doesn't only look good, it feels good. So support the brand, help us out.
Appreciate that. Well, it feels so good because it's not just cotton. It's a cotton polyester blend. I've always been very picky on my clothes, and I like to be breathable. I'm in Florida. It's warm all the time. You want to move around, and you want a shirt that has a strong message you want to wear and that feels good and fits good. So that's what we pick in everything that we do. And also for the women's cuts, ladies tell us all the time, man, I love these shirts. They're so good. The colors are great. They fit. And so we got something for everybody. You guys check us out. One thing that we do on this show, guys, is we end every episode with a prayer. If you need us to pray for you, leave it in the comments. We go back and we look at those comments. We will gladly include you in the prayer. I usually lead the prayer. Last episode live, Bo did his first prayer on air. And I want to tell you that I had somebody message me and they said, you did an amazing, amazing job. And my wife thought the exact same thing. So that won't be his last time unless he wants to take it today. I was going to take it today. I feel, I really value you. This is a great thing. I appreciate everybody. We got some amazing stuff in store, guys. So I know this is going to be an amazing year. We're going to end this with a quick prayer unless, Bo, you got something to add or something you want me to pray for.
I just want to pray for those migrants, for those children. So
okay, for sure. Absolutely. I love that. Well said. Yep. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you very much for this opportunity to come together, to share information with others, for the platform that you're allowing us to access and the means that we're able to do it. Father, may our words be truth to people's ears. May your spirit flow throughout and allow discernment to come that all that hears it. Father, we say a prayer as our nation is clearly under attack in the spiritual battle that we are faced. There's wickedness everywhere, and evil is definitely in its roots. We pray for all those that are hurting, that are lost, that are hurt with anxiety, anxiousness, from all the stress, from all the misconfusion and the distractions going on. We just pray that you speak a spirit of truth, discernment, and peace over them all. Father, we pray for these children, Father, that are being smuggled into this nation, for the hurt that it's causing them. We pray for their families that are truly missing them. And we just pray that this evil would stop and that great power, peace, and love and unity will be spread across this nation because we need it like never before. We know that you can do all these things when we come to you. We feel that a great revival will be spread across this nation in 2024 and that many amazing things will come to lift you up in this process. In the heavenly name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. See, if only I could pray that good,
It comes. I used to never. It comes. It comes with continual prayer. And all it is calming your mind. That's first. And just being real. Real needs to share. That's it. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a blessed day. We'll catch you on Tuesday.